Good afternoon and welcome to our preview of the November 2nd special town meeting. I'm Tim Goddard, your town moderator, and I'm joined by Keith Bergman, our town administrator. We're going to walk you through the 11 articles that are on the warrant for the special town meeting. And why don't we get right to it, Keith? By now, I'm sure everyone's received in the mail a copy of their town meeting report. We've been doing this for a few years now, or I should say the town has been, and it's really a great source of information about the articles on the warrant and explanations for why the town is seeking to do certain things and financial information. It's really an indispensable guide. So if you got this in the mail, please bring it with you to town meeting. We have a few, or a limited supply of copies available at town meeting. Hopefully you can pull this one from your recycling at home if it ended up with the Action Unlimited and the flyers and bring that with you to the town meeting. Why don't we take a look at the articles that are on the warrant? I guess we'll start the order of the articles. This is something the selectmen have adopted. Keith, why don't maybe you could speak to the organization of the articles before we get into them?
Sure. Thanks, Tim, and hello, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you all at our special town meeting on November 2nd. A couple of years ago, the Board of Selectmen had established a study committee to increase voter participation. One of the recommendations of that group was that the order in which the articles should appear in the warrant at town meeting be as what we're following now. Financial articles first, the articles requiring a 2/3 or a supermajority vote come next, followed by all other articles. So we're using that format in this warrant. There are 11 articles that are in the warrant as posted. 2 of them, the first and the last articles, in fact, are being withdrawn. So we'll be acting on a total of 9 articles at town meeting. The 2 articles that were withdrawn, one is bills of prior years. We don't have any right now, so there's no action to be taken. And the other article that's been withdrawn is the very last one, a proposal to amend the town bylaws relative to discharges to municipal storm drain system. There will be amendments that we need to bring to town meeting to adopt bylaws, but the Board of Selectmen has decided we're going to wait and put together a comprehensive package for the annual town meeting in May. So no action to be taken on that article this November 2nd, but we will be back in May with the town bylaws on drainage.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the financial articles then, Keith, which look like they're 6 in number. Why don't you start off with Article 2, which will be the first one we actually get to,
Sure.
regarding LCTV.
Sure, and this one is near and dear to the hearts of all our LCTV viewers. What we're looking to do is to accept the state statute, which allows us to continue our long practice of reserving the funds that we get from our cable franchise contracts with Comcast and Verizon, the so-called PEG funds, Public Education Government funds. Our practice has long been to earmark those monies for our local cable operation. We would like to be able to continue to do so, but the state Department of Revenue has ruled that in order to do that, a community needs to adopt a particular provision of law, which we've not yet adopted. It was only passed a couple of years ago. So Article 2 proposes that we accept Chapter 44, Section 53F and 3/4, and I'm sure everyone's looking up that statute now online. But that it would allow us to continue to earmark the PEG funds for LCTV, for our Littleton Community Television. We get about $200,000 a year from that funding source, and we have a balance of over $400,000 now, and it's the way that ensures that the money that we get from our cable subscribers, which was intended to be set aside for local cable access, continues to be available for that purpose.
Very good.
So we have the Selectmen and Finance Committee and the LCTV Advisory Committee all in favor of that article.
All right, very good. Article 3, it looks like we've got some amendments to revolving funds that were authorized at the annual town meeting.
Yes, that's right. We're looking to amend one of those revolving funds by increasing the revolving fund for animal control services by $5,000 from $12,000 to $17,000, so that we can fund what the cost is this year for contracting out animal control services to the town of Boxborough. That is, Boxborough provides the animal control services to Littleton, and then we pay for that service, and the base contract cost is $17,000, for which we are looking to use a revolving fund which covers the cost. The next is a new fund that we're looking to add, and it's sort of the reverse. It's where the town of Littleton is providing services to Boxborough, and for which we are being compensated. Specifically, our Littleton Community Television staff is providing operation of Boxborough's cable service for a fee, and we want to ensure that the money that Boxborough pays to Littleton for that service and for the expertise from our LCTV staff, that those funds from Boxborough come back into the fund that we can use to then pay for LCTV staff for the service that they are providing. The last one is a request of the Conservation Commission to establish a revolving fund so that the fees that they charge for from community gardens, which is a rather modest fee. It doesn't raise them more than $1,000 a year, but they do want to be able to hold on to those funds and to use it to maintain and improve their community garden property. So all three of those require votes of town meeting because they are revolving funds.
Okay, so we're amending one revolving fund and creating two new ones.
That's right.
Okay, very good. Article 4, number of adjustments to the FY 2016 operating budget. And Keith, could you speak to those?
Sure. We're increasing the amount of money that is available to the LCTV cable studio. We are increasing funds for the highway department, and we are using funds to pay for a stormwater collaborative that our town is part of through the Northern Middlesex Council of Governments. The net budget increase for these transfers is $22,000, which is offset by increased local receipts that we will get from transfer station sticker and bag fees. So that's where we are.
Okay, and I note that the Finance Committee and Board of Selectmen are in support of this article, which is a traditional budget adjustment article that we often see at a fall special town meeting. Article 5 would fund a collective bargaining agreement with the police bargaining unit.
Yes, we've reached a new 3-year agreement with the police. We had previously reached agreements with the highway, dispatch, and fire unions, and those were funded by the May annual town meeting. We had also approved raises for non-union employees. All of those raises for the first year are in a cost of living adjustment of 2%. That's the deal we're bringing forward that we reached with the police union, 3-year contract with 2% in year 1, 2% in year 2, 2% in year 3. The schedule for the unions and for the non-union had not been adjusted since the fiscal year 2013. So this would complete now all of the adjustments to salary schedules through fiscal year 2016. Then we have a personnel bylaw amendments article which proposes to apply that same 2% increase to the remaining salary schedules which have not yet been amended by town meeting. At annual town meeting, we approved amendments to the park and recreation seasonal schedules, and now we're bringing back the remaining temporary and seasonal and on-call fire schedules for 2% increases.
So with this article, you will have adjusted the salaries for all employees.
Right.
Wages and salaries.
That's right.
Across the board.
Everyone will have
2%.
had their salary schedule amended by the action on these two articles.
Very good. We'll move on to Article 7, which are some supplemental capital appropriations from available funds. Keith?
Yes, Tim, we're looking to complete two projects and to give some additional funds to LCTV. This seems to be the LCTV special town meeting. There's a theme I'm catching.
No wonder we're doing this program, right?
So I'm sure this program will replay many, many times in LCTV between now and Monday night. The first project is a fuel facility replacement that we're in need of an additional $111,000 to complete funds. Our total project cost is $659,000. We are ready to award the bid. We have $300,000 that were received from the Littleton Electric Light Department. The rest, $359,000 comes from the general fund. We've had some appropriations previously. We need the final $111,000 to be able to award the contract and then proceed with the project. Also, the Council on Aging kitchen, we have awarded a base bid for a contract for improvements, needed code improvements to the COA kitchen, which is adjacent to the multi-purpose room here in the town office building. We are looking for supplemental $38,000 for a total project cost of $178,000 so that we can complete the project. We're looking forward to having it completed before year's end, calendar year's end.
Very good.
And lastly, there is some capital equipment that is needed by LCTV to support its launching of the educational channel. The E in PEG funds stands for education, and there's nearly some $60,000 in capital expenses that need to be undertaken. So we have the support of for these projects of the Finance Committee, the Selectmen, Permanent Municipal Building Committee, the Council on Aging, and the LCTV Advisory Committee.
Very good. Very good. We'll move now to Article 8, which is authorization for Nagog Hill orchard leases. I know most people will remember the town purchasing the Morrison property in 1999, but they might not have followed what's gone on since then. So, Keith, what's the purpose of this article?
Sure. We are looking to put the Nagog Hill Orchard property out to a long-term lease, which requires us to issue a request for proposals to receive competitive bids. That we had we last put the document out, or the property out for a long-term lease back in 2000. In fact, I think, Tim, that was your
That was
your
in my
project.
era, yes. Yeah.
And that lease was for 10 years, and we've extended it a number of times since then. The most recent extension for the lease expires on July 1, 2016. And so what we're looking for is to be able to issue a request for proposals for leases of up to 30 years. Requires a town meeting vote. The Board of Selectmen has established a working group comprised of representatives from the Board of Selectmen, the Agricultural Commission, and the Conservation Commission to explore best practices and leases and policies for all town-owned agricultural land. And that agricultural working group will be advising the Board of Selectmen on the preparation of the RFP document, reviewing the bids, and recommending award of the lease. So we have, this is an aerial photo of the properties that are the subject of the current lease. There is in your town meeting report booklet, there is this black and white representation of the lots. I can mention that the Board of Selectmen has scheduled a joint site visit with the Conservation Commission for the Friday night prior to town meeting, so that we can take a look in particular at the lot which is adjacent to Nagog Pond. There have been some questions about that particular parcel. We're going to meet out at the site and then formulate any final recommendations about whether to include all or just a portion of that lot. It's Assessor's Map RO2-10-0, the lower right-hand corner of your map page, and we're going to be looking at whether that lot is included in its entirety or whether part of it should be parceled out. So stay tuned.
So if there are any changes, you'll have an update available
Right.
at
In
town
fact,
meeting?
we're meeting Friday night, so that if there is a motion that needs to be made, we'll have it ready for the handouts on Monday afternoon, evening.
All right, very good. We'll move next to Article 9, Aid to Elderly and the Disabled Taxation Fund. This is requested by the Council on Aging. Can you explain, Keith, what this would do?
Sure. This would establish a fund to defray real estate taxes of elderly and disabled persons of low income. It is a recommendation that was brought forward by the Council on Aging. If we accept this state statute, Chapter 60, Section 3D, the Board of Selectmen would establish a taxation aid committee, which would be comprised of, by statute, it's comprised of the chairman of the Board of Assessors, the town treasurer, and then 3 residents who are appointed by the selectmen. There are a number of communities in our surrounding areas that have established such committees. Littleton has not established one up till now, but one of the selectmen's goals has been to look at ways to provide tax relief where possible for our seniors, and so we were glad to bring forward this recommendation from the Council on Aging.
Very good. And then finally, and I say finally because there's no Article 11, so Article 10 will be the last one that town meeting deals with, an amendment to the general bylaws of the town regarding the number of members of the Council on Aging.
Yes, the council itself has recommended its own downsizing, that there are our bylaws currently provide for an 11-member Council on Aging. There are only 7 members on the COA right now, though, and they're actually often have difficulty getting a quorum with the number of vacancies that they have. The COA has unanimously voted to request that its membership be reduced from 11 to 9 members, and so that it can do the work it needs to do. And we have vacancies to fill.
That's right.
And would
Nobody
encourage,
loses their seat.
No one
This
loses their
change.
seat. We still would have a couple of seats left, and we would encourage anyone who's interested in the work of the Littleton Council on Aging to submit. Don't wait. You can submit an application to the town hall, and we would be glad to consider your service. Look for ways for you to support your town. So.
Very good. Well, there you have it. It was said at the top of the program, Articles 1 and 11 will be withdrawn, so We're only going to have 9 articles to deal with at the town meeting. I would just remind you that town meeting is Monday, November 2nd at 7 p.m. in the K Gymnasium at the Littleton Middle School. I'd like to thank our town administrator, Keith Bergman, for joining me here this afternoon to walk you through the warrant. I think, as I said, please bring your booklet that you got in the mail, and please read through that information because I think it's very helpful. There's also information on the town website. So I'll remind you once again that it's Monday, November 2nd at 7 p.m. And with that, we bid you good afternoon.